Hello, my name is Jackson Marchell.
And I'm EJ Boyet, and welcome to the newest episode of ECSN.
In this episode, we're going to be showcasing pieces on Developmental Disability Month, a culinary spotlight,
Sports talk, and an interview with a veteran. But first, we're going to start you off with a behind the scenes of our show.
ECSN, or East Cooper Student News, is a student-run class made up of Media Tech 3 and 4 students. With the help of our advisor, Mr. Terry, we take up to 2 weeks to create our monthly episodes that we broadcast to Wando and Lucy Beckham. We're located in room L118 in the CAS. Here we have an audio room with soundproof walls and our editing suite where we have iMacs and updated software for editing. At the beginning of the week, we come together and brainstorm ideas for segments for the next episode. Each piece is assigned a reporter, a camera operator, and an editor. If you are interested in joining the ECSN crew, talk to Mr. Terry for more information. Find us on YouTube and Instagram. This is Abby Mondello signing off for ECSN.
This month is Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. In this following piece, we're going to be showcasing what it's all about.
I have been working with our youth and adults with disabilities for probably about 16 years in the Charleston area. My first involvement was in undergrad when we just did like a Special Olympics track and field, which is kind of what everybody knows Special Olympics as, is like the track and field event. I actually kind of fell into the position. I had moved to Charleston and I was seeking out a job. A friend told me about a therapeutic recreation position open. So I applied and I got the job. My first day on the job, I was told to go to a recreation center I never heard of, didn't know where it was, and to teach rhythmic gymnastics to some adults with special needs. No clue at that time what rhythmic gymnastics was. So I made my way there, and there were 4 athletes, and they taught me rhythmic gymnastics that day. And then I took all the material home and studied everything and was practicing my gymnastics routines at home, and I was able to come back and start teaching them the routines. So through the town of Mount Pleasant, I help provide what's called therapeutic recreation. We partner with Special Olympics, so we are able to do year-round sport programming. And since we do the partnership with Special Olympics, that allows them to do competitions locally, statewide, nationally, internationally. We've had one of our athletes travel to China to compete in a golf tournament. We've had several athletes from Mount Pleasant travel to different areas like Greece and Ireland to do competitions. We do a lot of social events or life skills events, so some people might be able to offer cooking classes, and we have a couple adult programs in the area. One is very art-based. It's an art-inclusive community. They're called Heart, and they have actually put on productions at Piccolo Spoleto. We have another program called Beyond Basic, and it's adult life skills program. So they work on life skills, everything from job skills to hygiene, things like that, cooking, all that kind of stuff. There's also numerous other programs. Healing Farms is another adult program, and they actually do a lot of things on farms and sell some of their products. So yes, there's lots of events all around the Low Country to be involved in. With COVID-19, it has been a tremendous impact on our special needs community because they really depend on all these activities for socialization, for number one, but also their physical activity and continuing to learn their life skills. So a lot of them have now been at home and they have not been able to have all that socialization and the continued, education, you could say, in learning things that just go along with life. A lot of organizations are trying to open back up with some programming, like Mount Pleasant Recreation. We have started our swim team and our basketball team, and we're getting ready to start golf again. But it's still a very limited number of people who are participating. Mount Pleasant Recreation offers programming. A lot of the other local recreation departments like City of Charleston, Goose Creek, they offer programming. Special Olympics offers programming that's very volunteer based. But if someone wants to contact me, I'll put them in the right place.
That was heartwarming.
Here's something to warm your appetite. The following piece is on Wando's culinary class.
If we want to, or we can just keep it like this to eat. What?
If you were to eat any breakfast food for the rest of your life, what would you eat?
I would probably eat bacon.
Probably breakfast burritos.
Do you eat breakfast in the morning? And if you do, what do you eat?
I would have a bagel with cream cheese and some bacon.
I do eat breakfast in the mornings, and I usually make a breakfast sandwich.
Nice.
I normally don't eat breakfast, but if I do, I'll eat a bagel.
I'm Chef Gordon, the culinary arts instructor here at Wando. So we have two classes. We have Culinary 1, Culinary 2. Culinary 1 is a 10th and 11th grade course, so we learn general knife cuts, cooking, safety, sanitation. We do soups, stocks, sauces, and then all the cooking methods. So anything from sauteing to grilling, just general cooking techniques. Breakfast foods is incorporated in both classes at some, extent. Culinary 2 has a whole chapter of breakfast. So we make biscuits to waffles to pancakes to crepes. We've done omelets. We did cinnamon rolls, biscuits, and even Carrie Morey from Callie's Hot Little Biscuit came in and saw us. So there's not any prerequisites other than you need to be a sophomore. So freshmen can't take the course. Skill-wise, you don't have to know anything. I just assume that, especially with my Culinary 1 students, that they come in and they've never held a knife, they've never seen raw chicken before, maybe their favorite food is chicken tenders, and my job is to show them how to take a whole chicken, use a knife properly to cut your own chicken tenders, season, flavor, and cook them properly. It's really important to take photos of your food after you cook it because we eat with our eyes first, so I'm bringing that into the class, so follow us on Instagram for all our foodie pictures. So.
That looked delicious.
I thought so too.
Next, we have an update on spring sports.
What's up, Wando and Lucy Beckham students? I'm Katie Miller, and today I'll be discussing some of the spring varsity sports that have started up at Wando. With track season starting up earlier this year, both boys and girls have been performing strongly at their weekly meets. As of March 25th, Wando baseball is 3-2 going into their game against Cane Bay. Lacrosse Lady Warriors are currently 3-1 and ranked number 6 in the state. Good job, girls. Wando boys lacrosse is currently killing it with a 6-0 record. Way to go, boys, keep it up. Boys soccer is 7-0 and have outscored their opponents in the previous 4 games, 26-1. Girls soccer has a strong record of 4-0 and they went up against Berkeley for the second time on March 25th. Way to go, Warriors, keep up the great work. This is Katie Miller signing off for ECSN.
Thanks, Katie. Now on to an interview with a local veteran who served as a pilot.
My name is Molyvade with ECSN, and last week I had the honor of interviewing Arthur Rienda. Art was born in Springfield, Massachusetts in 1932. In 1954, he graduated the U.S. Naval Academy. Throughout his naval career, he served on 1 destroyer and 6 submarines, one of the submarines he commanded. After serving on in the seas, he went on to teach the Naval War College as dean. So this is our interview with Captain Arthur Rienda. So what was life like growing up?
So life growing up was just occupied by what was going on in the world outside. There was no Air Force Academy at that time. So there was West Point and the Naval Academy, and I didn't want to go and fly airplanes off carriers. That's no fun. So I had in mind what I would do is when I got out of high school and finished that, I would go to West Point so that I could get a commission and go to flight school, and that was the best way to succeed in the Air Force at that time.
So what was your biggest fear going into that path?
None. I was so happy. I was the first one in my family to go to college, and the college that I went to was almost, but not quite, the one that I had chosen for my life.
What was one of the big things you learned throughout the military career?
My mother especially was very disciplined, and I was for 11 years the only child, so I was the benefit of all her disciplinarian things.
So what did you do in the military?
The first thing I wanted to do was to go to flight school, but they didn't take people to flight school at that time right away. You had to go on a ship for a couple of years, and then you could go to flight school if they picked you. My wife decided she didn't want to be a widow, and she said, "Do you really want to fly?" And I said, "Yeah, I really want to fly." And she said, "Well, I don't really want to be a 24-year-old widow." And I said, "Okay, I'll find something just as good." So I started looking, and the idea was submarines. So I applied for submarines and got picked for that, and away I went.
So you didn't have any fear going into something like a submarine?
No.
Right, nothing like that?
No, I wasn't smart enough to be afraid.
All right, yes, sir. So what advice would you give to someone joining the military?
I think the best thing you can do is to be prepared to do what it is everybody expects you to do, and find out what they expect you to do if you don't know, and work hard to get promoted. And that's what happens to everybody.
Lastly, I'd like to end off this interview with asking you, it's a very vast question, but if you could give one piece of advice to my generation and people our age, what would it be?
I think the best thing that you all could do at your age and place in life is to get educated as in whatever field you decide to do as quickly as possible, and go to work and be disciplined.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you, Captain Arthur Riendo, for your service as a military and educational leader to this country, from the students and teachers at Wando and Lucy Beckham High School. My name is Anthony Molyvade, signing off for ECSN.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode. This is EJ Boyet
and Jackson Marchell,
anchoring for ECSN.